This is day 1370 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Learning Bias Chus for Am Yisrael in our continuing battle against the Torah Osanu. Today we're doing Yeridea, Simon Reish. Reish Menvav, Dalet Tiyud. V'amar Chacham Yigdol Chachmei Emes, the great Mekubalim. I'm not sure if he uses Chachmei Emes the same way we use it nowadays, which is Chachmei Emes meaning Mekubalim. It seems probable, but Arukh HaShulchan carefully that could us if you want to know the greatest. It's hard saying Mom Moshe Rabbeinu. Call him Moshe Rabbeinu. Shel Rabban Shel Kol Neviim. He was the Rebbe of all Neviim. Shel Kol Chachamim, all the Chachamim. As God saw, still the Mal Misach HaNashem. His perception was greater than human compared to the human mind. V'Lokam Yisrael Moshe Hashem Hashem Panim Panim. Nobody rose like Moshe. Knew God face to face. Kaviyachol. And so he added wisdom every day until he passed away. What did he say at the end of his life in Parshas B'Eschanan? You have begun to show your servant your greatness. We see you received only the beginning of Torah, because Torah is so vast and great. It's not quite the same thing. Well, and first he did get 49 of them, but perhaps Shar Chamishim is much greater than all the rest of them. It was not revealed to them. That's what he says. And that Shar is greater than all of them. Yes, says yes, Oz with greater loftiness and greater power. This is like, because the way he learns it is that the 50th Shar is like the outermost in concentric circles. Which encompasses all the inner circles, and all are null visviyit. And these matters are ancient. Okay, hey, by the Torah. Besides that, there's no medication for the breaking of the Yitzhara, without no remedy for breaking the Yitzhara besides Torah. My mom said, Torah tavlin. I created Torah to be a tavlin, a spice, an herb, condiment. If you are alive in some Torah, you're not going to be given over to the hands of the Yitzhara. The Saita Sham Isa, it says in Musach Saita, Akamar is in Kedushin, with Saita, it says that Torah Iguni Magni Yitzurim Misurim, Torah protects from afflictions, Vatsuli Matsumi Yitzhar, and saves from the Yitzhar. But the Zohar Daf Yutes says, everybody's involved in Torah, his property is successful. David Amel says, Ashrei Ish V'Gomer, praise to the person, etc. The first couple of Tehillim. But rather in the Torah of Hashem is his desire, his goal. Then everything he does will be successful. Interesting question would be, not for now, whether women yet need Torah as a tavern for their Yitzhar. Because obviously, as we shall see, that Mechuyev in the midst of Talmud Torah. V'av'imei Talmud Torah ma'aseh mitzvahs. If there's no Torah, there's no doing mitzvahs. With lo amar it's chassid. Versus ignorant cannot be pious. Zer shamim ba'alanis say alanisim for Hanukkah. Shamdav v'chulei. When the Greeks stood up, l'shlium Torah secha avim mitchukei utzanecha, to cause them to forget your Torah, and to remove them from the laws which you have desired. By forgetting Torah, you violate the laws of the Torah. And with this we see clearly that places where Torah is learned, the mitzvahs are also done fully. And the opposite when the opposite is the case. If I had to take a hunch, although I'm not sure, of course, because it's referring to Western Europe, where the Torah learning was more lax than Eastern Europe, but I don't know that for sure. The Kiddushin, Rabbi Tam, Rabbi Kiva, is Kenim, Musumim, Belias, Beit Natsa Balud. They were sitting in the second floor of the house of Natz and Lud. Yishal Shel is his name. This question asked before them. Talmud Gadol, Master Gadol is what it's greater learning or doing. Nanu Kulam Bulam, all of them agreed and said, Limud Gadol, learning is greater. Why shall Limud Mev Day Maisa? Because learning brings a person to deeds. And to stand beyond that, he has both learning and doing. That's going to Pshat Rashi. A person to pass away. When they bring him into judgment, the beginning of his judgment is only on learning Torah. And also the schar of learning Torah comes before the Maisa. I'm not sure what he means by that. Even though it's CPK after the Gemara, I don't remember. That's what the Gemara says there. The punishment and the reward is on Talmud Torah before everything else. Therefore, every male Jew is chayim learning Torah ben ani ben asher, whether poor or rich, ben shom guva ben bal yisum, whether he is whole in his body or somebody who has afflictions, ben bacha, whether he's young, ben zon gadol, or very old. I feel ani him, even a poor person has to beg from door to door. Feel bal isha banim, even a person who has a wife and children. Chayim l'kvol azman l'talmud Torah, but yom of Alayla has to set aside a time to learn Torah day and night. Shneimah says, "V'gisa b'yom Alayla," you should think about it day and night. Klamar chelak yom chelak layla, a part during the day and a part at night. Because we call him even though the simple meaning of the pasuk, which is referring to simply Pasuk Pshat Yoshua himself, is that you should involve yourself in it constantly, all day and all night, like it says, the Torah should not desist in your mouth, etc. So obviously it's perhaps impossible for Yoshua, but not for anybody else who's constantly concerned with his livelihood. It's only for unique individuals in generation. The Torah on that level is only going to be people to make the money, had no concern with the livelihood. If there was not, it will not be a door, a generation like Kedor Midbar, like a generation of the desert, they should lower you to live upon also. They didn't have to make a living, but you all day and all night. But us, we have to set aside specific times to learn Torah. Day during the day and during the night. And that's when, in fact, they ask you after you died. You set aside times to learn Torah. That's what the Gemara writes in Sifav, the time of dire straits. I feel low Kriyash Shachas Arbis. He only read Shema, which of course is soaking from the Torah. In the morning and night, it too fulfills the idea of the Sefer Torah should never desist from your mouths. In other words, if a remote chance occurs, like this day, he's very, very preoccupied. You read, especially when he's going to a fair and commercial activity, etc. You also say the Chavas Kriya Shema Shabbat. You also say because of Kriya Shema, it was obligation Shema Shabbat Amar, in which it says, you should speak in them, meaning this understanding in the words of Shema, when you sit at home, when you go on the road, when you rise up, when you go to sleep, when you rise up in the morning. Brackets, he says here, I'm not saying case on base. Nearly the Gam Rabbi Yossi Srele, the Shnei Kavanas B'mashma. There are two understandings here. One is Chas Kipshuto, that you're supposed to say these words. Shenek Bias Itim, the other is to say this. Well, I'm not sure going these words or the words in Sefer Yoshua. Even it says the two kavanas, Echas Kipshuto. I assume it's going in Vagisa B'Yom Malayla. Was the submitting Masheni. The second was Bias Itim, to set aside times. Kosh Kosavu. Chen Tebas Tamid, to learn constantly. Masha Shneim refers to both, constantly, literally, or regularly, every day, twice a day. Certainly to do it constantly is better. If it's not possible, you'd say with the second interpretation. Besides the Shabbat Kush Lach Mishnah Bergam Talmud Torah Chos Halo Ches Kam Paskar Makrab Yossi Perakei Mitminim Paskar Banai and Sham. Seems to mean that both opinions. But Female Slightly Asi Shapir. Paskar Yossi evidently that Krishma in the morning and night. You'd say if you can do constantly. The Ches Chesar Abbaseinu about the Shulchan Aruch, the author of Shulchan Aruch Basif Aleph. The Misha Iyam Shalom Limon Nesha Any Yodea Klal Limod, someone who does not know cannot learn because he does not know at all how to learn. And there are because of distractions which he has. Yaspik Lacher Maloim Dim. He should supply. In other words, finance. Others who learn. So you consider it as if he learned himself. I heard from my Rebbe of Shimon Zelaznik Zatzal that Rebbe Zalman Zatzal, his Rebbe, told the Baal Bus in America who gave money to Eitz Chaim that anything that the Talmidim learn Eitz Chaim, on account of his having given money to Yeshiva, he will understand in Olam Ha'emes. So if you learn Baba Kama, based on his support, he'll be able to understand Baba Kama. Okay, so the person can make a stipulation with his friend, Shuhu Yasu B'Torah, that his friend will Torah B'Yamtzil Parnasa, and he will give him a livelihood, V'Yachlok Imo Eschar, and is going to divide it with the reward in Olam Haba. It's interesting that Moshe has a famous Shuvah Yisachar Zulun, which he says it's not enough just to support your friend; you have to give him half of what you have. In other words, even your friend has 100,000, not for him, $100,000 a year will be Daiva Hoser. If you're making $500,000 a year, you have to give him $250,000. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay, but I think most folks can disagree with Moshe's chiddush on that. But that's only Lifnei Maisa, when you come to support him and support his future endeavors. And for us, if somebody already learned Torah, there's no such thing as selling his portion, because he gives him money. You can't buy and sell portions of the world to come. But Tom Pashut, the reason is simple. You can't sell or give your water Olam Ha'emes to others, despite all the stories that seem to indicate otherwise. Like the famous story they say about both the Gra and Baal Shem Tov. So you think it's doubly true, but it's not true at all. Where the Gra Baal / Baal Shem Tov gives all of his Schar Olam Haba to get a kosher etzor 1 year. Okay, doesn't work. It's not possible. The famous tshuva from the Machne Chaim, famous Yitzhak Eliezer brings it down, where somebody asked him, an ani was told by an usher that if I'll give you an adav, if you use part of it to buy my Gehenna. And the ani went through with it, and then he felt bad about it. So the Machne Chaim said, doesn't work, but you should do tshuva because you're willing to buy their usher's Gehenna. The soul which did it will get the reward in another one. But when they make ahead of time, they participate in mitzvah together. They both did the mitzvah. It says it's the true life. Also, those who hold on to it, and those who sustain it are also happy. All the salvations and consolations, and all the blessings, which the prophets prophesied. They all apply to a person who marries off his daughter, Talmid Chacham. And he does commercial activity with Talmid Chacham. And he gives Talmid Chacham benefit from his property. But even still, even though there's a division of the reward, but nobody knows besides the Kodesh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol what kind of reward Talmid Chacham themselves get. Test the person not saying Shalom Bat when he learns on his own. Shuv any tzorech litmach b'yad lo mitzvah. I don't have to learn to support Torah. I'm learning. Then okay, it's not true. The other rabba, contrary, came shu since he knows the power of Torah. Chiyuv olav yoser. He has more of an obligation. He has mitam kin deraisa for the support of the Torah. Leading the dovas ali yeshivas and give contribution to yeshivas. I'm a claimant shall be the Torah, a place where Torah is spread. Most of the time, Torah comes from poor people, impoverished young men. It requires support. Any coin you give on Talmud Torah, joins up to a great reckoning. That tells me it helps a person avoid afflictions. Cloud Varmain, the general principle is called a lame Torah batzmo, able to learn his own. He will automatically find mitzvahs precious, and love the Chacham. Tell them and support them, and sign and help them. They should learn V'yasku b'Torah, to learn and be about Torah. But Hefech b'Ivchov, if a person does not learn Torah properly himself, and find much more difficult, he won't be as great a supporter of Torah. You have a kach shanina, but Torah's konim barzach l'kos. I've been lo tishmu leave lo tastus komitz zayla. Don't listen to me. I don't do all these mitzvahs. Ki yesh l'cha adam she'eno lamed v'aseh. There's a person who doesn't learn and do. What do you mean? They sounds like this person is not listening and not doing. Sounds like there are people who don't listen, don't learn, and still do. No, if you don't learn, you won't do. You're not going to know what to do. Perhaps he doesn't reject others, never. However, because maybe he's kind of neutral. If you reject and you repudiate and you find revolt at my laws. Somebody who does not learn and doesn't do, actually comes to repudiate others. Some people who don't learn and don't do, and they reject us, but they don't hate Chachamim. My laws you will find repugnant, meaning you're going to detest the Chachamim who represent the laws. Anybody doesn't learn it, doesn't do, and rejects others, so eventually comes to hate the sages. Perhaps they'll let others do it. You're not going to let anybody do it. Allow other people to do it as well. Maybe he won't allow others to, but he sees that there are mitzvahs to be done. I can do all my mitzvahs. So cover mitzvahs. Sinai is going to reject, deny the mitzvahs given him Mount Sinai. Perhaps the person has all these terrible traits, but he doesn't deny the core of our belief. We see to dissolve the covenant. Because anybody who has all these negative traits, so she'll cover it. Eventually is going to deny the primary basis of Judaism. Since you see how destructive it is to not learn Torah, you see how great is the koach of learning Torah. That brings us to the end for today.